Hi and welcome back to one of my yoga classes. I'm Lauren. Join me for this 30-minute full body yoga sculpt and tone. We're going to meet on your mat. When we're ready, we're going to get started kneeling on our knees about 3/4 of the way down your mat. Check in that your posture is in line, your pelvis is nice and tucked. Inhale to sweep your arms over your head, lifting out of your hips, and then draw your arms out in front of you. Walk them all the way down, drop your forehead to your mat, allow your glutes to stay up in the air and just find a nice puppy pose. Take your time to adjust in any way and get comfortable in this position. Just feel a really nice stretch in your shoulders, extending your arms, tuck your toes if that's more comfortable to balance on, and using your breath. Bring your hands in slightly now as you release your right fingertips up to the ceiling, sweeping them down and under to come under the left arm and thread the needle through, dropping the shoulder blade down to the mat, creating a nice stretch, spinal twist and shoulder stretch. Exhale, plant the left hand down, sweep the right arm up once again, stretching through the thoracic spine and then dropping them back down. We're going to meet in our tabletop position. Just checking your position, move through your cat-cow in your own time. Your shoulders are nice and stacked over your wrists. As you inhale, open the chest, drop the belly down to the mat. And as you exhale, curve the spine, reach your chin towards your chest. Move through this about 2 to 3 more times. And taking some circles with the body, just loosening everything up, getting that mobility in place. And then coming back through neutral, planting your right hand as you sweep the left fingertips up to the ceiling and then sweeping them down to come under, threading through the right arm, dropping that shoulder blade down and stretching out the left shoulder. Plant the right hand down to release the left arm, back up, one final stretch, reach the fingertips towards the ceiling and place your hand back down. Tuck your toes now and walk yourself back to sit on your heels, sitting upright. Inhale to interlace your fingers and push them away from you, tucking your chin to your chest, really curving through the spine. And then exhale, swing your hands around, interlace your fingers and reach them away towards the ground, opening your chest. Exhale to release, shaking out the hands and just splaying your hands out forward, taking some circles with the wrists, creating some wrist mobility, 2 to 3 circles in one direction and the other. And when you're ready, walk yourself back into a tabletop position, coming through a thread the needle variation. Once again, lift your right fingertips up to the ceiling and exhale, send them under and through the left arm. Extend the left arm out long in front of you and then just slightly adding on from the previous variation, extend your left leg behind you just to further test a bit of balance. If you fall out of this, it's absolutely okay. It's happened many times. And then exhale, bring everything back in. Find yourself back in that tabletop position. And repeating on the other side. Left fingertips up to the ceiling. Exhale to send them under and through. Walk your right fingertips out ahead of you and then release your right leg, extending it out long behind you, tucking the toes to help with that bit of balance. Last deep breath here in this position, and then plant the palm, bring the leg back in and inhale to reach the fingertips up to the ceiling one last time. And then plant them back down, planting the palms, tucking your toes in tabletop, and then inhale to really engage your core, lift your knees 1 inch off the mat and hover here just to build up some heat in that core. Everything's nice and tight. If the shoulders and arms start to shake, that's okay, you're doing it right. Exhale, drop the knees back down as wide as your yoga mat and sit your hips back to your heels for a moment in child's pose. Creating nice deep breaths and sending them throughout the body. And as you exhale, push yourself back up onto that tabletop position. Extend your legs out long. We're going to come into our plank. We're going to move through a bit of a plank series here. So as you really engage your core, strong in the shoulders, exhale to lift your right leg off, extend it out long behind you, point through the toes. And then keeping your body still, you're just going to inhale to tap the toes down to the mat. Exhale to lift. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift. Repeat 2 more times. I know this one burns. And then from here, we're going to continue down onto our forearms, creating a nice forearm plank, checking in with our posture, lowering our hips, really squeezing our core and our glutes. And then repeating the same leg series here. Squeeze everything nice and tight. Extend your right leg. Lift your right leg off. Exhale to tap. Inhale to lift. Exhale to tap. Inhale last time. Lift the leg. And then tuck the toes back. Come back through your plank. Push your hips high to the sky. Releasing that core. Just taking the weight off the shoulders. Sitting in this downward dog variation. From here, you're going to stay on your forearms and just lower your hips back down to that forearm plank, and then use your hands to push yourself back up onto a high plank where we'll go onto the other side. Engage your core, lift your left leg off, exhale to tap, inhale to lift. Exhale, tap, inhale, lift. Move through this one more time, and then tuck the toes. Come back down onto your forearms. We're not in this for too much longer. You're doing really well. Lift the left leg off, tap down to the mat, inhale, lift, exhale to tap, inhale to lift, and then last time, tuck your toes, come into your plank, push yourself back up onto high plank, and then straight away release the hips high for a downward dog. Releasing everything, stretching out here in downward dog, pedaling the heels, and then pushing both heels down to the mat, aiming to get your chest close to your thighs. Using your breath. Lifting high up onto your tippy toes, rippling back into that high plank. Lift the right leg off once again, bend the knee and send it up into the opposite elbow. Send it through the center and then continue it to your right elbow and step it back. Exhale, lift the left leg, bend it in to cross the body, touching the opposite elbow through the center, and then it taps the left elbow and send it back. Last time on the right leg, bend the right knee into opposite elbow, center, right elbow, and then step it back. This is the last time on the left leg, I promise. Cross the body through the center, tap the knee to elbow, and then step it back. Drop the knees here, push everything back into a child's pose. Steady your rhythm back to its natural rhythm. Take your time. On your exhale, push up to that tabletop position, tuck your toes and send your hips back to your heels, and we're going to meet in a downward dog. Lifting high up onto your tippy toes, ripple your body forward to high plank and then lower to your mat through chaturanga, and just take your time through a vinyasa. From upward dog, tuck the toes and push your hips back to a downward dog. We're going to repeat a fluid vinyasa straight away. Again, ripple your body forward, tuck your elbows in and lower through chaturanga. Exhale, sweeping up to up dog. And inhale for downward facing dog. Lift your heels high this time, lowering your knees to the mat, and we'll come back through that tabletop position. Walk your hands back to your knees and just come on to kneeling on your knees where we started. From here, lift off your right leg. You're going to bring it forward. Just step the right foot up and come into a low lunge. Place your hands on your glutes and just lower your hips towards the mat for a lower, deeper stretch into the hips. Inhale to sweep your arms up and overhead. Lift out of the hips as you reach for a back bend. And then exhale, plant your palms back down either by your sides or on your glutes. Breathe into it as you lower, stretching further into the hip flexor. Exhale to place your hands down onto the mat. Extend out of your right leg, flexing that foot, leaning back. And then inhale, reverse, lean back into that knee. Repeat this 2 or 3 times. Create mobility in the right hamstring. Exhale to straighten the leg and inhale to bend. Each time you bend it, try and get further deep into that hip flexor on the left side. Bend it into your right leg one more time. So come into that low lunge. Bring both hands on the inside of the right foot and heel toe the right foot slightly out to the edge of your mat. Lowering, either staying on your hands for a lizard pose, or if you can lower onto your elbows for that deeper stretch. And once you're there, just breathe into it. See how much you can open that hip. If you're on your elbows, you can come back up onto your hands, come into your runner's lunge, tuck the back toes and kick them off to step them up to the top of the mat. Your feet are as wide as your yoga mat, toes pointed outwards, and we're going to drop our hips all the way down, coming into that Malasana pose. Hands are together in prayer, and you can use your elbows to push your knees slightly outwards. If you want to go into a further stretch, extend both arms. Your left hand comes just out in front of you to the left side, and extend your right fingertips to the ceiling. And if you want to continue for a bind, you can just interlace your fingers, wrapping them around your body. and joining them together at the back. Of course, it's possible you can just stay in front, facing forward with your hands in prayer. Wherever you are, we're going to come back through center, plant the palms down now and just extend the legs, so keeping a nice stance, nice wide stance, rocking side to side, just releasing that lower back, shaking the head yes and no. And then once again, we'll come back down into that Malasana pose. So readjust the feet, just point the toes outwards, join your hands together in prayer. Really open the hips and then extend the right fingertips out to the right side and inhale to lift the left fingertips up. You can send your gaze upwards or keep it down, whatever's most comfortable for your neck. And if you repeated a bind on the other side, you can go ahead, interlace the fingers behind the back. So your right arm is going to wrap around that thigh. Last time, inhale to extend the hands once again, and then exhale, come back through center, join your hands together in prayer, and we'll lift out of our Malasana pose. So plant the palms down, come into a forward fold, heel toe the feet in together, and then step the right foot back, coming into that low lunge on the left side. Inhale to sweep the arms up and over and continue for a slight back bend before exhaling and coming back to neutral, placing your hands on your glutes, just to kind of slightly give more pressure to get a deeper stretch into that right hip flexor. And then releasing your hands down, placing them on either side of your front foot, and exhale to extend that left leg, leaning over it, flexing into the foot, feeling a nice stretch. Inhale to bend into that knee, lower the hips, and exhale, extend. Repeat this mobility 2 or 3 more times. Trying to lower yourself further onto that left leg once it's extended. Really feel a nice stretch in the hamstring. And on this next time, once you bend into that knee, stay there, heel toe the front foot out, and then either come onto your elbows, bringing both elbows on the inside of the foot, or if you want to stay up on your hands, whichever is most comfortable. If you've gone down to your elbows, really send your breath to that hip. You'll be getting really nice deep stretch here. Move through a final breath cycle to push yourself back up onto your hands. Release that left foot back, come back onto your knees and bring yourself back up to a kneeling pose. You can face the side of your mat here to take more space, as we're going to extend the right leg out to your side. Place the foot fully down, keep upright, and then inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Place your right hand down on top of your leg just to balance yourself, and then send your body over that leg. So your left arm extends over by your ear. Just feeling a nice deeper stretch overall through your upper body. One leg, exhale, bring it back through the center, and this time walk your hands forward, just like a puppy dog position, but with that leg extended. And then slowly walk your hands back into your body. Drop your left hand down to the mat. Extend your right arm up, and then you can lift off your right leg, coming into a half side plank here. Inhale to bend the knee and the elbow into touch, using your obliques and your core, and exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to elbow, exhale, extend. Really reach away from each other every time, and then bring them in. Really crunch your core, knee to elbow. Repeat one last time. Release the right leg down, plant the heel on the mat, and then extend the underneath leg, finding yourself stacking the legs on top of each other and finding yourself in that side plank. We're just going to move through some hip pulses to really get into the obliques. So pulse your hips up for 8, 7, 6, 5, lifting higher, 2, 1, and coming down into your high plank. Taking a moment, readjusting your position, and then lowering your chest to the mat, coming through your up dog and meeting back in our downward facing dog. Gaze towards the front of your mat as you take baby steps. We'll meet at the top of our mat in that forward fold. Bend into the knees as you inhale to sweep the arms up and over, bringing yourself to standing. Stretching the upper body, and then exhaling for that forward fold. You'll be facing the back of your mat here, so just take yourself, slightly turn around so you're facing the front, but you're at the back of your mat, and then walk a little bear crawl into our tabletop position once again. Walk your hands back to your body and then standing up tall on that kneeling position, facing the side of your mat. We'll repeat that on the other side. So this time your left leg is extended. Just make sure there's space wherever you are. Flatten your foot on the mat. Inhale to sweep your arms up and over. Really engage your core here to keep you in a nice upright position. Exhale as you plant your left hand on your leg and then your right side leans over the left side body. Breathing into the ribs, creating that space. Inhale to come back up and then walk your fingertips out in front of you, lowering all the way down to the floor, letting your forehead rest for a moment. Using this stretch particularly to hit any tight areas that you didn't realize, and just opening into the hamstrings, the glutes and the hips. Walk yourself back up now to a kneeling position. And then we'll repeat just as the other side. Place your right hand down, extend your left leg long and lift up that left leg. Use your core, bend the knee to the elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhale to bend. Exhale, extend, letting it grow long every time. And then curving in, using the core during that crunch. Using the obliques here to keep your body lifted. And then last time, elbow to knee, really extend. Place the leg down and then release the underneath leg, just stacking both legs on top of each other, coming into your side plank. Really reach the upper hand straight to the ceiling, moving through our pulses. If it's helpful to place your hand on your hip, you can do so too. Pulsing up for 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Upper hand comes down, pivots the body into that high plank. Take one final deep breath in high plank and then lower your knees back down. Coming through tabletop once again. Inhale to extend your right leg behind you. Peel off the left hand and then bend into the leg as you sweep the left hand behind you and clasp the foot with the hand. With a bit of tension, kicking away, so pushing tension and pressure into the hand. Just creating a nice heart opening pose, sending your energy forward, keeping your gaze towards the top of your mat. And then exhale to extend everything out long before placing hand and knee back down to the mat. Just taking a quick moment to readjust here as we continue extending the right leg once again, staying on the same side, pointing to the toes. We fire up the glutes. You're going to lift your leg up and over, tapping the floor on the left side, and then inhale, sweep it over the right side, creating rainbows. So tapping your toes one side, lifting it all the way up and over, and tapping the right. Repeat this 3 more times. Nice fluid movement. Inhale to tap, exhale to lift, and sweep it up and over. Last time coming back, extending the leg out long once more and then placing it back down on the mat. Repeating on the other side now, so our left leg extends out long behind us as we inhale, use our core and balance to peel off the right hand, bend into that knee and sweep the hand around and back, clasping the foot, and then pushing away from the body as you create space. Again, a nice shoulder stretch. And inhale to release. Extend everything long before placing it down on the mat. Engage your core, check in with your posture and that there's not too much tension in your neck. And then extend the left leg behind you. Inhale to sweep it over the right side. Tap the floor. And then it comes up and over, tapping the floor on the left side. Really engaging your glutes and getting them nice and fired up. Continuing this movement, repeating up and over. Inhale to tap, exhale to lift. Last time here as we tap down on the left side. Exhale, bring it back behind you. Extend, and then knee comes to the mat. Extend your knees as wide as the mat and push your hips back to your heels for a child's pose. Slowly bringing yourself back up out of this child's pose. Walk your fingers into your body, bringing yourself up to seated. You come off your heels and then swing your legs around. Scoot yourself forward towards the top of your mat. Keep a nice generous bend in your knees. Hook your hands behind your thighs. Curving your stomach in, scooping your core as you use your abs to roll down. to a completely lying flat position. Back comes flat to the mat. You can scoot yourself forward, get comfortable, and then bring your heels in close to your hips. Place your arms gently down by your sides and just move through some really subtle pelvic tilts here. So as you inhale, push your pelvis forward, just lifting that lower arch of the back, creating space there. And then as you exhale, replace your lower back down, engage your lower abs to help you do so. Inhale to arch, curve that spine, and then exhale, lower. Repeat this one more time. Waking up your pelvic floor and your lower abs. And then final time, bring your lower back completely flat to the mat. Engage your core and press your heels into the mat as you peel slowly off, lifting your hips all the way up to come into that half bridge pose. Really squeeze your glutes at the top, lift your hips, and exhale, lower back down to the mat. Once you get down, we won't hover for long. Inhale to reach back up. Use your core, use your glutes, squeeze everything, and exhale, lower. Inhale to lift. Send your hips high, pushing down through your heels. And exhale, lower. Inhale to lift. We'll do 2 more. Last time here, lowering your hips. And then inhale to peel up, squeezing your glutes. Once you get to the top, see can you lift your hips 1 inch higher, and then we're going to hold at the top as we make pulses with our knees, pushing our knees together. Imagine there's a little lemon in between your knees and you just try to squeeze it together, pulsing for 10 more. 6, 5, pulse it, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently lower your hips down, relaxing everything. Bring your knees into your chest, hug your knees in and rock side to side. Just take the weight off the lower back, give the muscles a nice massage. Bring yourself back to neutral and gently drop your heels back down onto the mat. Bring them close into your hips. We're going to move through this series again, adding on in a variation. So as you inhale, lift your heels off, coming onto your tippy toes, and then pushing into the balls of your feet. To inhale, roll yourself back up to that half bridge position. Lift your hips up high, engage your glutes, and exhale, lower. Repeat this. Inhale to lift, and exhale, lower. As you lift too, see can you lift your heels up higher, come higher onto your toes. Exhale to lower and repeat 2 more times. Using your abs, engaging your core, squeezing your glutes. Last time as you push up, lift your hips as high as they can go, and then holding here at the top as you pulse upwards this time. For 5, 3, 2, and 1. Holding it for an extra second at the top. And then exhale, lower down. Really nice. Release your knees, send them into your chest 1 more time. Keeping a steady focus on the breath. Exhale to release the knees, send the legs out long. Sweep the arms up and overhead for a full body stretch. Reach the arms away, reach the legs away. And exhale, release. Bring your knees back into your chest and rock yourself forward and back, creating momentum 2 or 3 times to eventually come up to a seated position. Swing your legs around and come back into that tabletop. We'll meet on all 4s. Engage your posture, tuck your toes, send your hips back to your heels, and then send them high for that downward dog. Press your heels away from you, down to touch the mat, and then inhale to bend into the right knee, step the right knee up to the top of the mat, coming into your runner's lunge. Send the energy and the gaze forward. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead, coming into that high crescent lunge. Exhale to tap your back knee down to the mat. Inhale, lift it up, straighten into that back leg. Bring your hands back down to the mat, kick your back leg off to step it halfway up and fall over your right leg for a nice hamstring stretch. Bend into the back knee. Inhale to straighten. And then exhale to release that leg, kick it up to the sky. As we prepare for our balancing pose here, you're going to bring that back leg, bend the knee and swing it all the way up into the chest, bringing yourself up to standing. Place your hands on your hips. Take a moment to concentrate, focus on your balance, release your hands. With that knee bent all the way up into the chest, you're going to grab your right toe with your right hand and then extend that leg long out in front of you. Exhale to bring it out to the side, to your right side if you wish, and then bring it back in, facing in front of you. Bend back into that knee and then release the leg back down. Shake it out, shake the hands, walk the legs. Inhale to sweep your arms up and over, and exhale, forward fold. Moving through a vinyasa here just to reset. Bend into the knees and step the right leg back behind you. Step the left leg back, we'll meet back in that downward dog. Take your right hand off here and then allow it to twist underneath. So your right hand's going to grab the outside of your left ankle, aiming to face up to the sky if you can get your gaze, if it's comfortable. And then exhale, place your right hand back, release your left hand off and then place it on the outside of your right ankle, aiming to just feel a nice release and spinal twist in the back and the shoulders. Exhale to replant your left hand back, coming into that downward dog. Lift off your left leg this time, step it up into that runner's lunge. We're going to repeat the other series on the other side. Inhale to sweep your arms up and off, bring yourself into that high crescent lunge. And as you exhale, tap the back knee down, sweep it up, and then place your hands back down to the mat, framing the front foot, stepping the back foot up halfway, coming into that nice triangular pose. Falling over your front leg, stretching into that hamstring. And as you bend the back knee, release the back heel and kick the leg up to the sky, finding a nice stance in your supporting leg, so your left leg, and then bending into that knee, sweeping it up into the chest, taking a moment in your own time. And then once you've gathered that balance, bring the knee into the chest. With the left hand, grab the left big toe and then extend the leg out long. Finding a point of focus in front of you. If you want to bring your leg out to the side, using your core and concentration to bring that leg back forward in front of you, and then exhale to release everything nice down and gently with control. Shake it out, breathe, inhale, sweep the arms down to come up, lift out of the hips and send it forward for a forward fold. Generously bend the knees and place your hands back down behind you just to bring yourself slowly, completely down to the mat. Allow your glutes to meet the mat, bend into your knees and slowly, gently roll down, bringing your back flat to the mat. Knees come into the chest and rock side to side. Send your knees out wide here as you grab your big toes once again with each foot and find a happy baby pose. If it's comfortable to rock side to side here, do so and just feel a nice release in the hips. If you want to test your flexibility further here, you can straighten your legs from happy baby. And so bend back into your knees, shake everything out, give a nice shake to the feet, and then straighten your legs out in front of you, coming into a spinal twist here. Bring your right knee into your chest, descend it over the left side body, gaze comes out over the left shoulder. Moving back through center here, swap the legs. Left knee comes into the chest and falls over the right side. Gaze sends out over the left side body. Focusing on your breath here, bringing your awareness back into the room and the space around you. Bringing both knees back into your chest and rolling up to a seated position one more time. We're going to meet wherever you like on your mat. Cross-legged, place your hands down on your knees, and just for that last moment of concentration, move through a seated cat-cow to bring yourself back to neutral. Tuck your chin, curve your spine, and inhale as you lift your gaze, arch your back, push your chest forward. Moving through one last seated cat-cow in your own time. gently bringing yourself back to neutral. Taking a note to see how your body feels. Inhale through neutral, sweep your arms up and overhead, and then we'll end this class together saying Namaste. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think.